In this presentation, we will discuss the risk assessment process. So what is the risk assessment process? Why is the risk assessment process used? Risk assessment procedures are performed to attain an understanding of the entity and its environment. So we're going to use this process to understand the entity and the environment which it is in. Auditors use this understanding to help identify business risk. So of course, once we have this understanding, we're going to assess the business risk and understand potential misstatements that can result. Thinking about the response of the entity to business risk helps the auditor to assess the risk of material misstatement at the financial statement level. So we got the business risk, and we want to think about how the entity responds to that business risk. That, of course, is going to help us to assess the material misstatement at the financial statement and assertion levels. So risk assessment process. Perform risk assessment procedures to obtain understanding of the entity and environment. So we're going to have procedures to do this, including inquiries of management and others. We have the analytical procedures, including audit, data, and analytics and observations. So obviously, to understand this, we're going to have inquiries. We're going to ask management key components of the organization. We're then going to do analytical procedures. As we think of analytical procedures, you always want to keep them in mind that they're going to be in different areas within the audit process. So we're going to have substantive testing, which may include analytical procedures, but we're also possibly having them in the planning stage as well. The analytical procedures, those things that I would think of as things that are basically done within the accounting office. We could do them without going out to the client. We could do a comparison of this year to last year. We could use see percentage changes, dollar changes, comparison to other types of industries. We are then considering the nature of the entity, industry, regulations, and external factors, objectives, strategies, and business risk, entity performance measures, and internal controls. Identify business risk that can result in material misstatement in the financial statements is an objective. Evaluate the entity's risk assessment process to those business risks and obtain evidence of its implementation. Assess the risk of material misstatement at the financial statement and assertion levels. So if we summarize the process, then once again, it involves the inquiries of management and other entity personnel and others outside of the entity. So we have the inquiry process. We also have the analytical procedures. Recalling those analytical procedures can be used within the planning process, and they're also often used in the substantive types testing. Those types of things typically done, that we could think of them as being done within the office, doing some type of comparison this year to last year, the dollar comparison, ratio analysis comparison, comparing to industries, and then we have observation and inspection.